Hey!
Alright, so there's a lot of people here. I'm not a great public speaker, so I'm just going to take a quick second. I'm just going to envision all of you naked. Ease my mind. Give me a second.
Oh boy.
Alright. Steve, please put some clothes on. God damn. Alright, here it goes. For all you who don't know me, I'm Dan. Bryan's stronger, handsome, and more intelligent older brother. That's me all to say. I was also told I have to read from the script, and I can't veer off of it. You know, kind of like Donald Trump's not allowed to veer off of his teleprompters. I'm not allowed to veer off of this speech. Here we go. Bryan is very handsome. Bryan is very strong. Bryan is never thick-headed. Bryan never raises his voice. Bryan is never... I can't read your handwriting. Cranky. He's never cranky. I'm just kidding. I need it right. Anyway, so Bryan, Kevin, and I think we really grew up in the perfect era. Probably like all of us here that are our age. We grew up with PlayStation, Nintendo, but we also played outside. We played Manhunt until 12 in the morning until the neighbors called the cops. So I think we grew up in the perfect generation. And then there was also this TV show called Jackass that we grew up with. And whenever I would have my friends over, the warning signs on Jackass was, don't recreate, don't do anything we do on this show. What did we do? We videotaped it and we did it. But we used Bryan as our guinea pig because he was the younger brother and he always wanted to be involved. So when we wanted to go sledding down the stairs out the front door, Bryan was the first one to go. When we would take one of those big clothing totes, we would strap it to a skateboard and go down the hill. Bryan was the first one to go down the hill. There was also a freezer in our garage that always overfroze, I guess, and it would just build up with ice. So we would throw fireworks in there, right? Light the fuse, throw it in the freezer. You won't get in trouble, don't worry. Or when we would want to throw baseballs, footballs, or whatever at the Chinese neighbor's house, Bryan, you throw it first. There you go. So Bryan was always the guinea pig. Looking back at it as I was writing the speech, I was like, God, we were kind of a dick to Bryan. But then I looked even further back, and Bryan was always the favorite child. He could do no wrong. Whenever we would get in trouble as kids, Kevin and I would always get smacked in the back of the head from my dad. That's why Kevin's back of his head's flat as a board. And then our punishment wasn't we had to go to our room. We had to stare at the corner of the wall that felt like for hours and just stare. That was our punishment. Like we were, I don't even know what it is. But Bryan, first one to go. I'll go play video games. Go ahead. Well, meanwhile, Kevin and I are just staring at the wall. Yeah, great. Wonderful. So I don't feel that bad because Bryan was always the favorite son growing up. Also, Bryan always seemed to be involved in any time any of us got hurt. I'm sure anyone that is our age played that lava game where you had to jump on the couch and you couldn't touch the carpet because it was lava. Well, Bryan would push Kevin and Kevin fell into the glass table, got stitches. We're playing football on the side of the house, Bryan tackles me into a fence, stitches on my head. Then we found a mouse on the side of the house one day, and our friend over here, Matt, he was over, and it was a dead mouse. And we're like, oh, let's go bury it in the woods. Instead of picking up a shovel, Matt picked up a pitchfork, stabbed me in the foot. I almost lost my pinky toe. I'm at the hospital. Bryan and Matt go back into the woods, and Bryan pushes Matt out of the tree, and if the tree lands into his stomach, he goes to the hospital. So Bryan was always involved in something. As you can tell, we had a great childhood growing up, but it really wasn't until Bryan joined the firehouse where we became very close. We were close, but then we started hanging out with the same people. We started going to the bars together, partying together. We always had sports in common, but really the firehouse brought us together. I was there when Bryan was at his first fire. He was a little scared, but I remember the smart words of John Corbo saying, just push into it, kid. Go on in. Go on in. So, John, thank you for that inspiration to push my brother into his first fire.
Welcome to Stairwell.
And speaking of sports, we've also endured endured the highest of highs and the lowest of lows with our sports team. You know, we've both seen the Giants win 2 Super Bowls, which is great. We saw the Yankees win 1. Hopefully they win 1 again tonight. Well, this week. We'll see. But for the last 6 years, Bryan and I has had a fierce battle on the Giants. He's been a hater of Daniel Jones forever. And I was sticking up for him, thinking that he just needed an offensive line, maybe some wide receivers, a running back, but whatever. And he sucks. So Bryan, he's right. I hate to admit that he's right, but he was right. So when Bryan became a sheriff's officer, I couldn't have been more proud of him. He achieved at that point what I thought was his ultimate goal, to become a sheriff's officer or a cop. But then 2 days after he graduated the police academy, he really got his dream job of working in the town he grew up in and lives in currently in Branchburg. So I couldn't have been more proud of him. I know he is loved, he's well respected amongst his coworkers, his friends, his family, me, and even the local politicians. So they love him. Speaking of politicians.
No fights, no fights.
Anyway, Bryan, I do adore you. I love you. I will always be your biggest supporter. I will continue to cook for you and Jamie on Sunday nights, since Mom and Dad abandoned us and left us. I'm just kidding. You look absolutely beautiful.
They all have that.
You do. Bryan is the luckiest man here alive. I'm not going to roast you. It is your day. But, you know, I'll teach you how to cook one day. You are the best thing to happen to Bryan. You are total opposites, but you mix well. And whether it's, you know, you watching Desperate Housewives and Bryan watching Fox, is not Desperate Housewives? Whatever. You know, Desperate Housewives football, or Fox News, or watching, you know, Life Underground, or Under Sea, whatever the heck it is. You guys are the perfect match. And I will say, I mean, your sister's kind of alluded to it, but when Bryan gets cranky, just feed him milk and cookies, he'll be fine. Trust me. Yeah, exactly, Santa Claus. But I'm glad to be able to finally call you my sister. Never had a sister. Welcome to the family. You can't run now. You're in. But I can't wait to see what the next, you know, couple chapters in your guys' lives have to bring to us. So everyone, please raise your glass. To Bryan and Jamie, to the next 100 years of being together, to the family you will have, to the memories you will make, to the Sunday dinners I will make for both of you. I wish nothing but happiness and adventure and love for the years to come. Salute.